Speaking with Thomas Lam, a graduate of class of 2018. Thomas, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
And it's an absolute pleasure. We've spoken before. You did our LinkedIn masterclass last year, so that was really cool. Thanks for your time again for this. So Thomas, you're studying a Bachelor of Applied Science Medical Imaging.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's what we're going to talk a bit about today. Can you describe the sort of student you were at school and how you found it? And tell us, what did you enjoy, and were there any challenges? And if so, how did you overcome these challenges?
Yeah. So as a student coming in from year 7, I was actually pretty different from things I did in year 7 compared to year 12. So I guess I was quite sporty. You know, I did a lot of sports. I did swimming, and I represented school in state swimming a few times. So that was from year 7 to year 9. Yeah, so around that time, I tried to participate in a lot of extracurricular activities. I was also involved in the school MAC performance, so that's the musical as well, and I had a few lead roles, so that was pretty fun. So that was up to year 10 or so, and at the same time, I wasn't neglecting my studies too. I believe that I am a personal believer that you should set strong study habits, because they do last. If you set strong study habits from early on, they help you later on.
So did you take that into VCE with you?
Yeah, in VCE. So this, you know, I obviously studied much more harder. Like I've stopped swimming when I went to VCE. I pretty much focused a lot because I wanted to get into this course, and this was a quite competitive course. And at the same time, if I didn't get in, that was okay, because there are more pathways. There are pathways you can still get in. So I guess I studied quite a bit, and at the same time, year 12 was definitely the most challenging. You know, SACs throughout the year, they are definitely tough, and I guess you just have to suck it up for that year.
Yeah.
Same time, I personally still think you don't have to be an Albert Einstein. It's not about being smart. You don't have to be smart to be successful, and I've realized that for university. I've seen a lot of the students in my cohort, they actually mature age students. I've got a few students with kids as well, and they did other degrees back then. They were another role, and they transferred over, and that's okay. You know, you meet people like that in life, and you realize, hey, it's never too late to chase your passion, do what you like, and that's something that I want to put out there. Find what you love and just go for it.
So, let's talk a little bit about your post-school pathway.
Yep.
So what did you do after school, and why did you decide to do that?
Yeah, so after school, during my school, like, I've always had a passion in the health industry. So I was a STEM kid, and that's, you know, science, technology, engineering, maths. I was more the science and bit of, I guess, engineering. Yeah, and I chose radiography or medical imaging because my cousin, she did it a few years ago, and she was able to find a position at the end of her career. And this was at a hospital, and I thought, hey, you know, it's pretty nice. It sounds good. And I've always had a passion for photography as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, cameras, that.
Yep.
While you're still helping people as well. And yeah, I've always had a passion helping people. So I guess that's what inspired me to do it.
Cool. And how did you find out, how did you gain knowledge about it and about the course that you chose to do?
Yeah, so I personally feel like open days are the most important. Yeah, make the effort to go out to the open days. So with my course, there are 3 universities offering it. There's Monash, that's in Clayton. There's Deakin out in Warren Ponds, and there's RMIT in North. So RMIT was the closest. I went to all of them as well, and Deakin, it was far. I was like, you know, like, can I see myself traveling here 4 years?
Is that Geelong?
Yeah, Geelong. So it was a bit of a far drive as well, and same with Monash as well. Bit bit far drive, and I thought, maybe it's not for me. And that really helped me a lot. And I went through open days and I talked to the students, and I felt that RMNT resonated with me the most at that time.
Yeah.
However, there is something that I didn't regret, that I do regret, and that is not asking about the course structure. And I personally believe that now looking back at it, I feel as a student, you should look into the course structure and know what you're expecting. Maybe this applies more to the allied health, because you have to, I guess, be willing to go on placements and knowing that placements will form a critical part of your course. And a lot of times you might not get ones close to home, and you may go rural and you are expected to pay for it, cover expenses. While there are some scholarships available, I guess that's the reality of it. And I wasn't aware of that. I thought, oh yeah, placements, I'll get something close to home. But yeah, I've ended up going rural. I've had, where'd I go? I had Warrnambool, Dandenong, Shepparton, and Box Hill. So I'm actually located in St Albans, Sunshine, and all of these were pretty far for me. That's why I feel it's important to look into the course structure. If one uni is doing one subject at a time, if one uni has more electives, if you love your electives, go for that. If you love something that's very clinical placements focused, a lot of practical skill, go from that as well, because the course structure will tell you a lot about, and you can find out through open days. I'm sure there's brochures, even online as well.
So what kind of work do you hope to do after you graduate uni?
Yeah, so to be very honest, I don't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. But yeah, I do see myself doing that for a bit. I might do it for about 4 or 5 years, but I guess my main goal is to start some sort of side hustle, some sort of business along the side. That's my long-term vision. And what I plan to do is work in a clinical hospital, and at the same time, my spare time, build something with myself. That's my vision.
Yeah, great. Well, I hope you achieve that.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you explain a bit about the skills and attributes required to do this work?
Yeah, so with this particular course, attention to detail is very important. You need to be doing stuff in a systematic way. If you're someone that has a great attention to detail, loves working systematic way, that is very important. Because in health field, you have to do things in order so you ensure patient safety and you follow protocol. Communication is also very important, and it's very imperative to possess soft skills like empathy, talking to patients, to people, and being able to build rapport. And yes, while I believe that's pretty much for every career, I personally feel like with the health field, at least, having empathy is probably the most important, and being able to build rapport, because it's pretty much all connections now. To find a job, most likely you're going to be through connections, making a good impression, because your placements will most likely be sort of your interview, especially in your final years.
Yeah.
Your tutors and supervisors will judge you and think, hey, we like this student, we want to take him on next year. That's how it works.
Yeah, cool. So for those students who are looking to work in either medical imaging or another allied health profession, do you think there will be ongoing employment opportunities in the future?
Yes and no, in a way. To be very honest, it is quite saturated. The field is quite saturated now than it was 5 years ago. There are 3 universities now offering it. Back then, with the old course structure, the way it used to work is in your final year, you would have a paid internship. But because now there are so many students, the government had to cut funding. So now it's just a 6 months unpaid work. And hopefully that doesn't deter students, but at the same time, it is very saturated. But I remember looking at Seek, and there is expected growth, about 30-something%. I guess what I'm trying to say is, with a influx of students, don't expect to be able to find work close to home within your first few years. You're going to have to grind it out some remote. even maybe going to another state, interstate. I believe other states, they pay well, pay a bit better than Victoria as well. So if you're willing to travel, go for it. But
Yeah.
yes, metropolitan, it is a bit trickier because so many students want to work close to home, and that's a reality of it now.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So what advice do you have for any students out there to prepare them for the world of study and for entering the workforce? What can they do now while they're still at school? And any advice for after school?
Yeah, I guess it's okay if you still don't know what you're doing. To be very honest, I'm not that passionate about my course as I used to be, and there are several factors leading to that. And that's okay. I just want to reassure students that that's okay. I thought I had a midlife crisis a few weeks ago because I thought, is this the course for me? But no, I feel if you are passionate and if you stick through what you love, that's okay for you. Then do that. If you're willing to do the hard yards, growing rural, if you love, exploring new places, go for that. Like, perfect for you. And I guess I just want to tell students, enjoy life. It's not always about grades. Grades don't get you a job. As I've said before, it's about connections, building rapport, making a good impression. Yeah, so there is this quote by a very famous philosopher. He goes by the name of Alan Watts. And the quote goes, "It's better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way." And I guess what I'm trying to say is find out what your passion is and just follow it. If you are in a uni degree and you feel like it's not for you, it's okay to change, because if you think about it realistically, you have to think long term. You have to be realistic about what your career goals are. If you don't see yourself doing this, so why do it? And that's okay if you don't know what you like. You're still young, and I guess I want to put out there that you're still young. I've got mature age students in my course, and they've only found out their passion a few years ago, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Never think that you're too old. You still got time.
Perfect.
If it's for me or not. So yeah, definitely reach out to people and ask them.
Yeah. So I think that's brilliant. That's perfect. So while you're at school, it's about the work experience and, begin your networking early and then utilize the open days, find out the course structure, and then, then you've got the networking, things like LinkedIn, reaching out, really trying to build the foundations of your career from there.
And I guess another final tip is just don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself to your mates. You might feel like your mates found a true calling. That's okay. Like, your time will come. Just like I said, you're never too old. You still have time, and just stay in your own lane. Stay focused. You got this.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time, Thomas. It's so great to speak with you and speak with you again. Probably a year. It's probably been exactly a year since we did.
It's crazy, and
last year.
That's okay.
So okay. We'll sign off now, and I hope to speak to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thanks.